Okay, for the advanced links assignment, we are going to do a few things here, and I'm going to step you through it. So the first thing is to look at a link and see what it does, and then we're going to change how it does it by default. So how many ways can we do something different on a link? Well, I'm going to show you a couple different ways. So this is my link on my first web page. I think in the instructions I have you do your hobby web page because you have 2 links there. But I'm just going to do it from here and show you how that needs to be done. So here's my link. If I hover over it, I get the little hand which tells me it's a link, and then when I click on it, it takes me somewhere. In this case, it's going to take me to the Utah Jazz home website. And so if I click the back button, it takes me back. Let's look at the code real quick to see what the link is doing. So the link is made up of, or is created, or it happens because of this A tag, A for anchor, but it's a tag that just is an A. Okay, so and then it has an attribute inside, which is anytime we have this red with an equal sign, it's an attribute, right? And it does something to that tag. And so with the anchor tag, we always have to have this href, the hyperlink reference, to inside the A tag, the opening A tag. And so the value of that is where it's going to take us when we click on something. And what are we going to click? Well, whatever's between the opening and the closing A tag, right? If I click on this, it turns purple, opening tag and closing tag. And then I have this text right here, check out the Utah Jazz. That is what's going to show up on the page, which we already saw. And that is what is going to be clickable for the link, right? So that is that's kind of what we have to have in order to have a link on a page. But there's other ways to do it as well. I'll show you that. But let's start with this text link right here. You have 2 text links on your hobby web page. On one of them, I want you to change it in some way. Let me show you why and how. So when I click the link, it takes me to the Jazz website. If I click through on a bunch of a bunch of links on their page, and I click 10 different times, and what if I want to get back to my web page? Now it's gone unless I hit the back button 10 different times. So sometimes it's nice to, when we click on a link, it opens in a new web page. So we are going to learn how to do that. Now we can force that as the user. If I right click on it and open link in new tab, it will do that. Or another way is the scroll wheel, the middle mouse button on your mouse. If you click that, that's actually a button. Click it and it opens in a new tab just like this. And now if I go in and see what's going on with the Jazz this year, and I want to go back to my web page, it's still sitting there. So I can just go back. So super useful. That right click and open a new tab, or middle mouse button, click, and it opens it. But we're going to put that in our code so that our link does that automatically when they click on it, because a lot of people don't know how to do what I just did. So let's go to the code, and in fact, let's find out how to do that on W3 Schools. That's not what I wanted. If you go to W3 Schools homepage and click Learn HTML, on the sidebar over here, if you don't have it, there's a 3-bar menu that you can click on right here. And let's go to HTML links. And it shows us all about links. There's a lot of stuff we can know or learn about links. We're going to learn 3 different things. So the first thing is that there is an attribute, another attribute. Right now we have the href down here that is, when we click on it, it takes us to this website right here, right? The value of the href attribute. We're going to add another attribute to make it open in a new tab, and that is this right here. In fact, so it's the target attribute, and here's a few things that it does, and you could read those things. We're just going to have it open in a new tab right here. So it's the blank _blank value of the target attribute. So here's the target attribute. It's the red text with the equals, and then in parentheses, in quotes, is the value. And if we do an _blank, and I can just copy and paste that for now, copy it, go to my code, and I have to pay attention to where it's at. That's the tricky thing. Okay, look, it's also inside the A tag, the opening A tag, just spaced out from the first attribute. So if I click on the first attribute and do a space, there actually already is one, and Control V to paste that target attribute with the blank value, that's all I need. And I'm going to save that. I'm going to go back and refresh the browser, and it looks just the same, but now watch, when I click on it, oh, haha, okay, what am I doing? Oh, I've got another, okay, I'm reading another file. Let's get the real file. I think it's this one. Okay, so if you refresh it, then if you click on it, look, it opens up in a new, oh, that didn't either. What? Oh, advanced links, I renamed it. Okay, I'll get it right here eventually. Let's see, I'm going to get the right document. See, right up here it tells me it's my advanced links HTML. I don't see it. Where is it? Advanced links. There it is. Okay, so I saved it. Now, third time's a charm. If I click on it, it opens in a new tab because of that blank attribute, target attribute. And it's always going to open in a new tab. Okay, that's great. So once you've done that on a text link, second thing we're going to do with the links is make an image, one of the 3 images that we have, actually 4 on the hobby webpage. One of those images, we're going to make it into a link. So I have, let's see what I have. I do have it right there already. Let me take that out. Okay, I've got some images. This is my table, but they're still images. Here's my image tag. I've got the source and the alt and the width and the height. And I want to make that a link so that when I go to my web page, I can click on one of these right here. My images, or my wave image went away. Let's see if I can get it back. There it is. Not sure what happened there. Okay. All right, I've got an image here and I need to make it a link. So the link, what causes the link is the A tag. So I'm going to copy this A tag right here, and I want the blank target also. That's one of the requirements. And so I'm just going to copy this opening A tag, and I'm going to click it or paste it right before the image tag inside the table. Yours won't be in a table because it's the hobby web page. But if I paste it right there, there's the opening tag. And if I click on it, it doesn't go purple, which means there's no closing tag. So I forgot the closing tag. I'm going to copy that and put the closing tag right after the image. So it's kind of tricky. You got to find where the image tag ends. It's right before the closing table data tag, on mine anyway. And I'm going to paste the closing anchor tag. So opening A with the target blank and the website that it's going to go to, I'll change that. And the closing tag, it's all surrounding the image, right? The image tag is inside of there. That's the trick, and kind of tricky. So I'm going to change this website. What should I take it to? A ski. Let's see, it's the wave. I should have done the skier. The wave, I don't know. I don't do much in the ocean. So let me switch it to, let me just paste it down here instead. I'm going to take the skier and I'm going to close that A tag right there. And this one I'm going to take to, let's just do a ski resort, local ski resort, Brighton Resort, I believe, .com. And I probably need the HTTP ://brightonresort.com. All right, let's see if that works. So let's save that. And I'm going to run it or refresh the page, save, go back to the page, refresh, and let's, okay, so the image, look at this. If I hover over this right here, it's a link. If I hover over this image, nothing. If I hover over that one, it is a link. It's got the hand on it, and it tells me right down here where I'm going to be going. So I click on it, and it takes me there. And it also opened it in a new tab, so that's perfect. So both of those links need to open in a new tab. And then the last part of the assignment is to go to w3schools.com and go click on this link bookmarks. And I want you to just learn how to make a bookmark on a page, learn what it is. You don't have to put it on your page necessarily unless you want to. Sometimes we don't have enough content to make this work anyway. But let's just look at this first example of a bookmark link. So what this does, if I click on jump to chapter 4, so this is all the content on the page, just a bunch of chapters. And if I click on jump to chapter 4, it takes me to that spot on that page. So this is a link in code, but it takes me somewhere, but doesn't take me outside of the web page at all. It keeps me on the web page. It just takes me to a certain spot, which is pretty cool to do, to be able to do. So let's look at the code. There's two simple things that this does. For the assignment, I want you to change it to link to just the 3rd chapter, not the 4th. So two things right here. Here's the link, the A tag right there, and closing A, and then there's the text, jump to chapter 4, and it's got we call this an ID. You probably learned that on the Khan Academy Intro to HTML that we did, assignment. So it's an ID, so we're going to identify this as C4. We just name it whatever we want. And then look, if I look down here on the actual chapter 4 title, the heading, it's got the ID equals C4. It's got what I put up here. So you have to have that number sign or pound sign or hashtag, but I'm going to change it to C3. Actually, before I do that, well, yeah, I'm going to do it. C3 for chapter 3. It doesn't matter the name, so I'll show that in just a second. I'm going to change this to chapter 3, but if I only do that, look, it still takes me to chapter 4. I want it to take me to chapter 3, so why didn't it? Well, look, it's still the ID that's linking those two things is still in the chapter 4 tag, so I'm going to get rid of that here. I'm going to do a Control X to cut it. I'm going to go to chapter 3 and Control V to paste it. Now, if I run it, it still says chapter 4, but look, it's going to take me to chapter 3 because that's what I told it to do. So instead of saying jump to chapter 4, I'm going to say jump to chapter 3, and now it's all correct. Okay, so it's just that. It's this in the href attribute of my link, I want it to say, okay, this is an ID called C3, and like I said, I could name that anything. I could call it chapter 3. Doesn't matter the name as long as it links to the same thing down here. So it's looking for an ID with the name of chapter 3. So watch, if I run this, it doesn't do anything because it doesn't match the name. So then I would have to put chapter 3 down here. It's just the name that it's looking for. It says any ID that says chapter 3, I'm going to link it. Okay, there we go. So change it to chapter 3, take a screenshot of this, that's what I'm looking for, and on your links, I want a screenshot of this right here. Is that all I need? Take a screenshot of the code showing the blank target in both of the text link and the image link. Yes. Okay, good. So those two things. Oh, I need to add the screenshot for the bookmark as well. So that's the links. Read the assignment instructions to make sure, but that should be everything, and the rubric for how many points you're getting for all that stuff. Good luck.